It is the 2020. We return to round 14 here at the Netherlands. Just past the halfway mark of the season. We still have 9 rounds to go, and the championship is very much heating up. We have 4.259 kilometers, 2.646 miles, 72 laps, and the late race lap record 1:08.5. Max Verstappen has held the last 4 Grand Prix here. Has held the last 3 Grand Prix here. 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, always held off by Lando Norris. C2, the hard compound tyres, medium compound tyres, and the soft compound tyres. Expect the hard tyres to be run a lot within the last few sessions because it is first time in a while these cars or teams have run with the hard compound tyres as the crowds flock in here, and they have been doing so since F1 Academy was on a little bit earlier on today. But since 2021, we haven't been here since 1985 when Niki Lauda won. And then Alan Prost, then René Arroux here. But the conditions are looking track is quite cool, 20 degrees. So the track conditions are going to be quite interesting. We have Rachel Brooks, Corinne Chandok, and Jackie Villeneuve up in the commentary box. Yes, Jackie Villeneuve, you heard him right. Corinne Chandok as well, and Rachel Brooks up in the commentary box to take you through with a lot of timing, a live feed, all that sort of stuff. But a 360-minute practice sessions, as Ferrari fans tend to flock out, and then all the flags. You can see a bit of a gust coming towards the circuit. So it's quite windy at the moment here. So that's quite an interesting topic. But 20 degrees. We have about a 22-degree track temperature. So the track is quite cool at the moment, but expect that to come up as the day goes on, and the cars run around a bit more. Here, but 2 free practice sessions, one now, and one a bit later on today. So free practice 1, I will be doing. It might be tight. I do have a few other things to do, but the world feed might be the world feed might be taking over the with David Croft and Martin Brundle might be up in the commentary box for FP2. They might be taking FP2, and then I'll probably take FP3 tomorrow morning, since I have other things to do. Now, last time out at the Hungaroring when we went racing, just over a month ago. I know, it's been a whole month since Formula 1 last hit the track. 31 days since Formula 1 last hit the track. And, well, McLaren extended their lead in the Constructors. They can wrap the champion Constructors up at some point from now on. McLaren can. Ferrari, Merc, and Red Bull are in a bit of a battle as well. Red Bull have just sort of fallen off here with Max only scoring points. Think of people like Yuki Tsunoda. Oh, sorry, not people like Yuki. People like Yuki Tsunoda struggling to score points within the front end of this season. Really struggling to score points indeed. Gabriel Bortoleto getting ready to head out onto the circuit in the Kick Sauber. A lot of drama happened last time out at the Hungaroring, and let's just say more or less we're expecting some more. We have got a virtual safety car test for these cars, just making sure, I'm guessing everything works in first practice. So making sure everything works, making sure everything is up to temp and pressure. But yeah, virtual safety car test is underway. Now, Zandvoort compared to the Hungaroring, they're 2 different circuits. Turn 1 very much in terms of the way that the circuit flows, it's a little bit different Turn 1, different. Turn 2, completely different. Here, turn 2 is practically not even a thing. Turn 2 is almost like Austria, as the virtual safety car test ends. But turn 2 is practically like Austria. It just doesn't exist. Austria generally just doesn't exist. Turn 2 Austria just doesn't exist. And there's Lewis Hamilton, makes his way out onto pit lane. He's on the medium tyres. It's interesting. I would have expected a few more drivers to test out the hard compound tyres, as that is Yuki Tsunoda testing out the hard compound tyres, making his way out on to pit lane. Of course, there's going to be a few big talking points within this session as to how, like, we saw in F1 Academy, and I think the Porsches were on track. As practice 2, we're expecting rain. So, come practice 2, we could be expecting rain. So, it's been a while since we've had a Friday wet day. But at the moment, practice 1, early on in the morning, partly cloudy, heavy 2. Practice 2, we're expecting heavy rain. So, I guess it could be a bit of a good tester. It could be a good testament in a way of where the grip is, but this circuit, it is quite a low grip circuit because of course we're practically right next to the beach, and what that means when you're right next to the beach is you get just you get this layer of sand on the circuit. We saw that in F1 Academy when the cars first headed out for their first practice session. We saw that layer of sand being kicked up from those Formula 4 cars. Expect that to happen now, especially when you go offline. So when you go off the racing line, which at this moment there is not really a racing line because not much action has happened with only F1 Academy and actually really only F1 Academy have hit the circuit so far. So yeah, so the rest of the day here is just Formula 1. So we're in for a treat, more or less. As of course you can access all onboards, scan the Sky Sports QR code with your Sky Class account. As Russell says, steering feels quite light. So I'm guessing that's Russell's saying steering feels quite light. That's probably because of the grip levels. Track's not fully at its best yet. And I know from experience that when the grip levels come up, the steering tends to get a bit heavier. So that's possibly a bit of a, unless that is genuinely something wrong with maybe an axle or maybe a suspension arm. Maybe there's suspension failure on its way for one of the Mercs there, but it could just be the grip levels. As Kimi Antonelli, 114.2, just shows how slow the circuit is at the moment. In the F1 Academy session, we were still 2 seconds off the pace, so the track is quite slow. If I do say so myself, at the moment we're 5 seconds slower than the track lap record of a 108.068 from Max Verstappen. As a bit of smoke is... Oh, actually, that's a lot of smoke and sparks dropping on the circuit. That could be a problem there for Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Is that car just bottoming out? I'm going to guess so. Does he have the ride height down too low? Possibly. He's very much bottoming out a lot. That could be a suspension thing. Again, the suspension arms do tend to get a lot of hurt around here. And when you do have an accident or something like that, it's very, very hard to try and find the suspension that would be right for the car. But early on in this session, I'm not expecting that to matter too much. Of course, the circuit quite technical, and as I said before, quite dusty. So we could be seeing some either we could be seeing some struggles. We could be seeing some genuine lap times. This is Max Verstappen at his home ground. Goes to the top. He's done a 1:12.767 at his home ground. There's smoke bottoming out the back of Ollie Behrman. I'm guessing that's just because, as Carlos Sainz says, it's quite windy out here. But I'm guessing that's just because the ride height's down a bit lower. Oscar Piastri goes to the top, displaces Max Verstappen. As I was saying at the top of the show, Max Verstappen, he's won 2021, 2022, and 2023. 2024 was topped by Lando Norris. Max would like to get back to that winning form. He would love to win here at the Dutch Grand Prix at his home ground. It seems as if that home Grand Prix curse is going away, because we saw Lando Norris win the British Grand Prix way back then, as Ollie Behrman makes his run to the line, nearly about 2 seconds off the pace, moves up to P16. Carlos Sainz in P7 at the moment, on a personal best first sector, as he runs through 8, 9, and 10. On the exit of turn 10, getting the power down, and that first sector looking quite nice. Just lost a little bit of time. I've said this so far this season. Williams are struggling. They're struggling in qualifying. They're really quick in practice, but you have to turn the practice car into a qualifying car. If you can't do that, you're going to be stuck. You're going to be stuck, and that's what these drivers are going to be doing in this session, trying to figure out what a good race car is, what a good qualifying car is, and they'll do that over 3 sessions. It won't take them just 1 session, because if you take it 1 session, if you do it all in 1 session, FP2 could be complete, and it will be completely different, I'm guessing, with rain. So grip levels will be different. So this is really the only session that you get in the dry to test the car if it is to be dry in qualifying and the race. So really the only session that you get. It's been very much like a sprint weekend now. Turned into a bit of a sprint, because in FP2, you're going to be dealing with wet. It's due Alex Albon to make his 81th start for Williams this weekend, trying to patronise for the 3rd most in Williams history. That's an interesting stat that the broadcast crew have brought up there, and we thank them for that. Alex Albon is just starting a lap. You can see, I saw Crew and Chandok talking about it before, how much banking, how much banking there is down there at turn number 3. It's quite strange how the cars go all the way to the top of that banking there, because you carry more speed through the top of the banking. You use the bottom, it's practically like digging yourself in a sand pit, more or less. So, when you do that, you're practically digging yourself in a sand pit, and you're having to use more power, having to use more fuel, having to rev the car out a bit more to try and get up the banking. So, yeah, it's quite difficult. So that's why the drivers use the higher line. Again, it's completely strange, because through turn 13 on the exit of the box, they're using the lower line, which is quite interesting, I guess, because you can just, when you use the higher line through the box, you tend to just flow out and just sort of in the wall. So probably not the best idea to do that, as Lewis Hamilton runs into turn 3, sideways, spinning, and back around. What a spin from Lewis Hamilton. So that Ferrari very much not looking stable in the rear end. Sideways, not in the wall. That's what we love to see. Lewis Hamilton.
Which means the drivers cannot go to the inside. Sorry.
So Lewis Hamilton there saying, I've got flat spots all around. And that is to be expected. That is very much to be expected. When you spin like that, it's yeah. You're using. Yeah, it's not exactly helpful.
A bit of information from the pit line down here. Very windy. A lot of drivers complaining about that on the radio. Possibly one of the reasons for the spins. You can see the flags above the grandstand opposite me. Very, very strong tailwind down the start-finish straight, and that will be affecting some of the corners that we have around this track. And then hopefully you can see images on your screen from earlier. George Russell, we've seen you discussed it there in commentary.
We're just seeing
bottom
Bernie
of that
actually.
track.
We're just seeing Yuki's gone off as well at the moment, so we'll wait for a replay of that. Sorry, carry on.
And that is Antonelli off the road as well. So Andrea Kimi Antonelli off the road and in the wall. He has beached himself here in FP1, and this will go red flag. Beached himself. It doesn't seem as if he's hit the wall. He's done a good job not to actually hit the wall, but had to interrupt Bernie there. But red flag. Session has been stopped. And that is Andrea Kimi Antonelli in the gravel. Now, that's a bit of a problem. And we also saw Yuki Tsunoda as well off in the gravel there. But Bernie, as she was saying, Antonelli.
I'm stuck in the gravel. Yeah, can we see that?
Love how Antonelli points out the obvious there. But red flag in this session. This will set back people. Yuki Tsunoda, yes, he was able to get out. So that was a good job there. I thought he was stuck for a minute, but luckily he wasn't. So red flag in this session. Let's send it back up to Bernie Collins.
Let's take a look at Tsunoda first, Jacques. You can see Tsunoda, this is under braking for the chicane down at turn 11. It's just the rear of the car's come around and he's on a hard tyre, and the rear of the car's just come around him as he got to the apex, but he's done well to get through that ground.
It's quite good, but you know, he got a little bit sideways going in, then he hit the curb, unloaded the rears, and finished his spin.
Yeah, we got
Not exciting.
no, and here's Anthony. So he's on to turn 8, and now let's see as he goes, snatches the inside front. He's just locked up and just understeered into the gravel.
Oh, that's not very nice. He did manage to recover it. Braked a little bit too late.
Can you rejoin the session? Negative. That car needs to be recovered.
That is not good news for him, you know, as a
But we were
driver.
saying earlier, he was boating, the rear very low, under a steering car, and that's exactly what happened there. He hit the brakes, the front end wasn't working, not really on the ground, not gripping, and as soon as he locked the wheels, there was nothing happening. And that's probably due to this setup to give him a safer rear end.
Just 13 minutes, just over 13 minutes into the session, and the car is being retrieved. But let's have a listen then to Kimi Antonelli, because coming into this weekend, we spoke to him yesterday, so let's hear from him before this session today.
Well, the break was very important for sure, because it's been a very intense first part of the season. Not gonna lie, I was pretty drained, you know, coming to the last couple of races. But you know, this holiday was good to reset and reorganize all the ideas, all my thoughts, and yeah, I'm really excited to be back. You know, I think it's the start of a new chapter, and you know, I feel good. I'm very excited to be back, and hopefully we can kick off well.
It's true, it was quite.
It was a bit of a struggle for Kimi Antonelli through the first part of the season. Really started from Albert Park, where he really struggled, and finished P19 in Albert Park, and then it just got a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better, and he, well, finished P13 back in Hungary. So it was getting bit by bit better. And through the summer break, it would have been a good chance for the drivers to really find that nice point in terms of car balance, possibly bring a few upgrades heading to this round. It's going to be interesting to see the McLaren's pace as well heading into the back end of the season, as to whether or not they have the pace, and if they do have the pace, they might be hard to stop for the back end of this season. Let's head it back up to Sky Sports F1.
Too, having to build that feeling back up.
And also, you know, feeling a little bit bad, a little bit embarrassed, lacking confidence, because he had 3 weeks to reset. And in the space of a few minutes, he's gone back to the way it was before the holidays. And all those reset moments, they're gone. You go back to square zero. It's as if those 3 weeks of holidays didn't happen, and that's tough.
I wonder, I was trying to I think, obviously he's raced here, as we said, Rachel, I think he won in Formula Regional and won in Formula 4.
3 wins he's had here, yeah, Formula 4 and Regional.
Yeah, but I wonder if Mercedes came here testing with the TPC, the old car
Yes.
test program. I wonder if they gave him some F1 mileage around here, because this is a tough track. I think, this is, as you're saying, a narrow, unforgiving track, and we've seen already some examples of that. Having some testing around here would have actually been quite helpful for him. So I don't know if that's
but where he went off is not one of the strange corners. It's probably one of the most normal corner on the track that looks like all the other tracks. He just really strangely got caught out with understeer there.
Bernie, you had something to add, I believe.
Yes, Rachel, I was just going to come in and say that when you look at the forecast, the Meteo France official forecast for this afternoon, it's actually looking potentially wet for FP2. So that vital running that Kimi Antonelli is going to miss this morning is going to really be detrimental, dependent on how that forecast plays out for FP2 later on today. And just looking at the current session, the cars that are about to go back out again, will we see them now the next run be on a soft tyre and try and get some long runs in this session to make sure they've got enough learning if this afternoon session is wet.
Great stuff, thank you very much, Bernie. Yes, indeed, forecast does look like there could be some rain during that second practice session this afternoon. Max Verstappen topping the times in front of his home crowd at the moment, though, with a 1:12.1.
Not bad at all there for Max Verstappen, doing a smart lap time to kick off his weekend. If he can continue that, those lap times, then he could be a threat. I mean, I don't want to say it too early, but he genuinely could be a threat here, as we take a look at a replay of what happened with one of the McLarens just a few moments ago. Just a dip in the gravel from Lando Norris. And yeah, slight dip in the gravel. Getting 2 wheels just in the gravel there for Lando. With 38.5 minutes to go, Carlos Sainz getting sideways as well. We heard Bernie Collins saying before the ad break that maybe drivers could be going onto that soft compound tyre. Nobody's on the soft compound tyre at the moment. Carlos Sainz going straight on down at turn 12. On the exit 11 and then into 12. Practically one corner. But straight on through the gravel. Out the other side, I'm guessing. He does get out the other side. Max Verstappen is the only one of a few maybe on the soft compound tyre. On the soft tyre there. So, giving a bit more grip off for Max. As personal best for the first sector, it's saying he's got the soft tyre on, but he's actually got the medium compound tyre on. So, our timing screens here are saying he's got the soft tyre on, but it looks as if he's got the medium tyres. So, maybe a timing glitch here. For Max Verstappen. Soft compound tyres, it's saying, but he's on the mediums. So, 36 minutes to go here in this one, running through turn 14. Here is Max. As he on the exit, through the tunnel straight, and to the line. That is a 1:11.9 for Max Verstappen. On that soft compound tyre. So, I think it was. So, I think I was just genuinely seeing things there. There we go. Whoops, speaking of the guide. That's okay. That is A-okay. 36 minutes to go here in this one as Lewis Hamilton runs through the banking. Turn 13, turn 14, of course. The announcement came over during the summer break that, well, actually a few days before Dutch Grand Prix, that Cadillac would officially have their team announced, of which is being Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez. So both drivers there moving to Cadillac next year, heading into 2026. Oscar Piastri, purple through the first sector, sideways on the exit of turn 10 there. So that car again suffering with the wind that is being produced. Oscar Piastri into turn 12, now onto the back end of the circuit and into turn 14. Of course, next time out we head to Baku as Oscar Piastri goes to the top. It's 111.794. Next time out we head to Baku, then we head to Monza, then Singapore, as we look to close out the Formula 1 season here. 35 minutes to go here in this session. Let's send it up to Sky Sports F1.
How hard do they start fighting it? You know, do they disobey a team order so they get the strategy for themselves? We've seen that happen in the past, right? And those games will start to unfold because this is a life-changing event they're chasing. You know, it's been 28 years since Jack won a World Championship, but it's so important, right? Being world champion.
It defines your life. It defines who you are and you've achieved it. You've done it. Doesn't matter if you win many more. You still got that one for them, it could be their only ever chance as well.
Every room you walk into as a world champion.
Yeah.
Every room for the rest of your life. It's
Finishing second is probably the worst thing ever because you could have been, but you're not. And that is the heaviest thing to carry around when you actually have a good shot at it like now.
And also for the team, for the people on either side of the garages. I mean, for them as well.
They start fighting it. That's the thing now. It's even in between mechanics and engineers. There's two sides to the team because they've won the constructors, like almost. They will win the driver, so the team can start separate with it, and they want their side of the garage to win. That makes it fun and exciting. And you know, Zach Brown runs the team. He used to race. I raced against him in Atlantic, so he understands the concept of competition.
And that's where actually I think McLaren have the opportunity, and so far they've done an excellent job of giving both drivers an equal chance. And you know, we think back to the Prost-Senna years, right? Absolute hatred, and that's not underplaying that word. They absolutely hated each other at that time as teammates in '89 in particular. But you know, when you speak to I was recently at Goodwood where we were both talking to people at McLaren, like Steve Nichols, who was Senna's race engineer. You had Neil Trundle was there. You know, these sort of people who were around that era. They said the one thing that McLaren and Ron Dennis at the time did really well was keeping both sides of the garage in harmony. So even though the drivers wanted to keep secrets and not tell each other, the engineers still shared the information. The engineers still, you know,
90%. Well, they always keep a little something.
But like the mechanics, you know, he kept it in a way that they were all still reminded and knew they were working for the team. You're not working for the driver, you're working for the team.
But then you only have to go back to 2016 with Lewis and Nico and see that Toto had to swap the mechanics over between the garages because it got to a position where he needed to make that change. I mean, it got so bad in the team and it was so ferocious in the team. He literally took Nico's mechanics and some of them put them on Lewis's car and vice versa. And Nico said at the time, they were my friends, and now I've got my enemies working on my car.
Yeah, but that's the point.
The way he viewed it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, we know they're not his enemies, but they had to make that change because it got so ferocious within the team that season.
Yeah, but that's where management comes in, right? Is reminding the mechanics that they're not enemies. When you do a pit stop, doesn't matter which car's coming into that pit box, you still have to do an equally good job for both drivers in the pit stop. And you look at the last race at Budapest, and they did. You know, both drivers got amazing 1.9 second stops. So I think so far, I have to say, McLaren have done a fantastic job of giving both drivers equal opportunity to fight.
Does it help that there is an engineer as a team principal? Do you think that helps as well?
That doesn't change. That doesn't change anything. But the thing is, you can have good battle, but still respect. So you can have. Oh, that's a great lap. Wow, the soft tires. You can still have mechanics wanting their car to win, but still have respect. Same thing when you play games with friends. Some of them get really bitter and angry when they lose. And others, okay, fair, you beat me, and it's fine, but you still want to win. But you're still in it together.
I'm definitely an angry one when I do.
No, just looking at some of what we're seeing on tracks. Obviously, Norris has come out and done a 10.2. Just for context, that is 2 tenths quicker than the time we saw in Q2 last year. Obviously, we got one step softer on the tyre compound, so there's some performance in that.
This is Oscar's response.
And this is Oscar's response. He was a bit wide. He was carrying a lot of understeer. Turn 7, got a little bit beyond the racing line on some of the dust. And again, there through 13, a bit of understeer there, the front of the car, not quite biting. So we'll see what that does for the lap time. But Yeah, he's nearly half a second off. I'm not surprised at that. Just looking at the body language of the car, it didn't look hooked up for Oscar. I think he didn't have the front end that he would want in that car.
The balance changes also from medium tire to soft. Normally, the softer the tire, the more understeer you pick up.
George Russell's also just put a set of soft tyres on, so we'll see what Mercedes can do around here.
I mean, that's a benchmark and a half, isn't it? If you look at George's done at 12.1, okay, all the usual caveats of fuel and engine modes, etc., etc., etc. But that is an ominous sign from McLaren to the rivals.
I think that's the kind of lap you will want to repeat in quality. It was a perfect lap, not in quality mode, fully quality mode, but still a lap on the edge, didn't overuse the tires. Gasly was quicker in the first sector. Maybe you just hit the tires too hard, then start to overheating that for the second half of the lap.
Do you, as a driver, these two know they're battling each other for this championship, do you hold anything back as a driver in these sessions so you don't let your opponent know what you've still got? Or do you still go all out?
The problem is when you hold out, then you're not working on yourself that much. So it's a double-edged sword. You really have to be careful when you do that, but you always want to keep a little something in hand. Doesn't mean you hold out, but you just maybe don't go to that extreme edge just to surprise. You want your teammate to think, okay, I've got this covered, and at the last second you pick them.
Get into their head, psychological game.
He's bailed out of it, Russell. So he's done a personal best first sector, but 4 tenths slower than Lando's time, and then he's bailed out of the lap.
Yeah, but if they have such an understeer on their car, if he's in a similar setup as Antonelli was, on the soft tire, that will be tough to keep the whole lap going.
Ferraris have put on the soft tyres as well, so we'll see what Charles and Lewis can do out there on track. Let's have a look at George.
Yeah, struggling for traction, coming out of 9, and then turns into 10. Is always understeer the middle of 10, but then he gets a snap of oversteer, which comes from that mix on understeer.
Yeah, because with the understeer, it's a little bit wider. The steering wheel is too turned, too much angle, and when he gets on it, it always kicks in oversteer. And often drivers will come and say, oh, my car is oversteering. No, actually, you have understeer before that. That's why you have the oversteer.
So Charles Leclerc is out on a set of soft tyres. His first sector time, Rachel, at the moment at 24.7. Second sector 25.5. Now, just for context, Lando's middle sector was at 24.8, 7 tenths just in the middle sector alone.
And that's not fuel only or.
Lando, because the camera angle, we can't see your position out of turn 2. Oscar is further left than he was last year. Maybe a half to a full
Talking
car.
about lines and how to make maybe gain time or not. Because on data he was losing in the first sector to Oscar, but he turned 2 different lines.
So, you can see there, Leclerc's come across the line. He's a tenth slower than Nico Hulkenberg's time, 1.6 seconds off Norris. Let's see what Hamilton can do, and he's actually even behind what Charles Leclerc's done. Not much, 9 thousandths between the Ferraris, but that tells you that's
The Ferrari is
that's
just
what
not
the-
quick, because you shouldn't be behind a Sauber.
Well, Williams, Carlos Sainz and the Williams has now put it up into P3, but it's still over a second behind the McLarens. You're right, it does look like that's an incredible benchmark for them so far.
Yeah, I think, but the rest of the teams are fighting for third place.
Yeah,
backwards.
absolutely.
You know, but what I love is, you know, unlike in the last couple of seasons, where it was, you know, then a foregone conclusion that one driver, i.e. Max, will be winning. Now we don't know. We don't know, and in terms of the World Championship battle, it's great. It doesn't matter that McLaren are so far front, because actually, it's great for the World Championship battle.
And normally, even when they're 1-2, it's not by much. It's
Yeah.
close enough that a tiny mistake and a great lap from another driver, and they're not on the front row. Where in the past, when you had the Mercedes winning everything with the Red Bull, they would be half a second ahead of everyone. So even with a small mistake, still be in the front.
So Yuki Tsunoda, Rachel, yesterday was talking about how there'd been this difference of car spec until Spa, wasn't it? And then they introduced the floor, which brought him into the same spec as Verstappen,
Yeah.
and he's sounding
And he was
like
still
he's
behind.
Yeah. But I think, you know, he's another one, right? The second half of the season
Needs to.
is career defining for him. Does he stay in F1?
And you can't say he's a rookie, can you? He's got the mileage, he's at his best level, and it's just not good
They've
enough.
got a new front wing, I should add, this weekend, Red Bull.
Yeah.
Trying to see which cars it's on.
What do you think, Jack, about the second Red Bull team? What did they do there?
What do they do there?
Yeah, what did they do? Because you've obviously had Lawson, you've had Perez before, you've had Yuki, you know, you go back to Albon, you go back to Gasly. You know, you're running through these drivers who are doing a good job in other cars, in other
Yeah,
teams.
I think when they put Gasly and Albon, they weren't ready. They still needed their half a season as rookies to get up to speed, and they weren't given it. And those two drivers are better now than when they were at Red Bull. Perez was at his peak, or already at plateau. Wasn't going to get any better, but he was never a world champion to start with. Max is an old-fashioned driver, and there's not many like him anymore. There used to be more. There's not many like Max anymore. So to find another driver that will work on the team, work on the car to make it his, and to help the team progress, it's not easy.
But can you, as the second driver to Max, come in and make the car his, make the car yours? Because at the moment, no one seems to be able to handle the same car that Max can handle.
Well, that's because they're not good enough. It's that simple. A driver that will be good enough will manage to be that close that they think, okay, maybe his comments are worthwhile. But some drivers, and there's a lot of them, they just come in and they don't know how to work on a setup. They just say, oh, yeah, I've got a little bit of understeer. Okay, well, why? What's happening? What do you feel on the car? And they don't have an idea. They just say, okay, if Max does this, I'll do the same. That doesn't help. And during the season, they get further and further away.
This is the Piastri up at turn 3. Just watch when he gets at that exit curve. He gets just a snap of oversteer when he's trying to put the power on. It looks quite bumpy.
It does.
It is very, very bumpy. And as you see, if the drivers cut in a little bit like he did, then when they come out of the corner, they're still turning a wheel, but the track gets flat instead of still being banked, and that's why they get a snap.
The car is so unsettled that goes through it.
Where if they stay high, they won't have that snap because they'll be in a straighter line, and the track won't be coming flat.
Yeah, I think we've seen Isaac Hadjar here, so he's on the soft tyre
And
now.
he stayed higher.
He stayed high. We'll see the comparison between him and Lawson, and Liam gets going. I think he's on soft tyres as well. Yes, he's also on a lap. So
There were reports, weren't there, that Red Bull wanted to stick Max in the racing bulls just to have a look.
I've been saying it for
But the other
2
teams didn't want them
seasons.
to, did they? The other teams didn't want them
Yeah,
to.
but I don't know if Red Bull want to either. I think, there's all this chat, but, what happens if Max gets in the racing bulls and says this is a better car?
Then the whole Red Bull team collapses. Because he's all the engineering, everything is wrong. That would be a dangerous thing to do.
You don't want him to show that.
No, I
if
don't,
that
I
was
don't
the
know.
case.
But if I was racing bulls, and frankly, if I was Red Bull and you take the ego out of it, in an FP1 session where a young rookie has to drive Max's car, right? So he has to sit out 2 FP1 sessions.
Yeah, no. Kroon, I mean, I can get where Kroon's coming from, and hello Elizabeth, I know chat's not working again. It sucks, it really does. But, like, I get Kroon can't say too much, but since I'm streaming, I can just say whatever I want. Max says he can't drive a Red Bull. I can only imagine, I mean, right now, Max is P14, Yuki's P19, Lawson's P18, Hadjar's P10. Max has not done a run on the soft compound tyres. I'm going to guess, as Lawson moves up in P10, so both RBs at this point on the soft compound tyres have outqualified, have outdone Verstappen and Tsunoda. So if Verstappen moves to RB, and this is just my thought, if Verstappen moves to RB, he could barely drive the Red Bull, let alone the RB. He would be complaining every race. There is no doubt about it. There is absolutely no doubt. There's no doubt. He will complain. He can barely drive a Red Bull. Which, to be honest, the car's not the best anyway. But the RB, I don't think it's any better. He'll struggle to drive it anyway. So it's a mix of what do you do? Really, what do you do? But yeah, so I changed the schedule for people like Elizabeth that want to watch my streams. Just a quick note, Elizabeth. The next stream, which I think is F1 Practice 2, I'm going to be... It's tough. It's tough because I'm going out for lunch in about practically when this session ends. So I'm going out for lunch, meaning I won't be able to stream FP2. So I'm thinking, depending on what time we get back. If I don't, I'm not going to stream. Depends. I mean, if the coverage goes for 2 hours, I think I should be able to stream all of FP2 in just the post-show. But, nah. But I need my phone, don't I? Okay, so, plan. Don't worry. I am going to stream FP2 at some point today, depending on what time we get back. If we get back at any time after 1:30 Australian Eastern Daylight Time, I won't be streaming FP2. Because I've got work from 3 p.m. So, depending on what time we get back. If we get back any time before 2, all good. It'll be like, I'll be like for 30 minutes still kind of not used to time zone change. Yeah, it's strange. It has to be. But I will stream FP3. I'll do that tomorrow. I have work until 10 p.m. tonight. So I'll probably won't be able to stream FP2. It is meant to have you. It is meant to absolutely down. But I would like to stream FP2. But I guess I could probably fit it into my schedule. I do have quite a packed schedule at the moment. So FP2, it's a question mark at the moment as to whether or not I do it, depending on what time I get back. So FP3 will be tomorrow. Then followed by, after that, F1 Academy, FP2 and FP3. FP2 and second practice for F1 Academy tomorrow. Or I might do F1 Academy when I get back. F1 Academy when I get back, and then I'll do F1 Practice 3, then qualifying, then F1 Academy qualifying, then the race, I think. Should I do the race? Then the race from 6:10 Sunday night. So that's my plan, that's my schedule. And then Monday, I've got Formula 1, the Dutch Grand Prix. And then Monday, and then after that, I've got F1 Academy. Then Tuesday, I've got the European Le Mans Series. So it's quite a packed schedule. And then for this week, I've got the shirtless stream Thursday. And then we're back with Formula 1. So that is my plan. And then we're back with Formula 1 Friday. I think we're also with Frecker. So F1 and Frecker are together. And not doing Formula 2. And then, so, yeah. Right. And then the weekend after that is the European Ford Championship. Which, after Baku, crazy schedule, I'll try and catch as many as I can, though. Yeah, try and catch mainly the race for Formula 1. Try. And catch the race for Formula 1. And try and catch F1 Academy qualifying and the races. Because those will probably be the only interesting ones at this point. If you can't, that's perfectly fine, because I understand you're in a different time zone and you probably need to get used to it. But, yeah. Yeah. So, that is my stunning plan that I have. It's now I've got to get used to your time zone as we head down to Bernie Collins.
The wind in the ground, you can see that the flag's still blowing pretty heavily, same direction, a lot of right cover, but I think it will be okay from a rain point of view for this session at least. So hopefully teams do get a bit of long running in. And then if I could, Rachel, I wanted to do, it's a bit geeky engineering, but this is what I love is,
Go for it.
the Aston Martin front wing is unpainted. A lot of the other front wings are really heavily painted. And look at the shine on the top elements of this front wing, the lovely carbon fibre and how shiny the surface is on that. That's perfect from an aerodynamic point of view. Sometimes you see it with like a paint line on it, but that front wing, just as I was walking past, I was like, that is a beautiful bit of engineering, the carbon fibre layout on these, particularly these top two elements. And as an airflow going over that, how good that must be for the front wing over the painted wings. I know some people don't like them because they're dark and harder to see on track, but from an engineering point of view, a masterpiece.
Great stuff.
Thank you, Bernie Collins. Those front wings do look spectacular, and Aston Martin have worked quite hard over the summer break to try and get the cars back to where they are meant to be. A bit of a struggle through the first part of the season. And of course, we saw last year when Aston Martin were almost fighting with Red Bull and McLaren, but now they're nowhere. So it's a bit of a question mark once again as to where their pace are this season. But yeah, quite a packed schedule. We've got rain for the upcoming sessions.
How you doing, man?
He's not looking in his mirrors, is he?
Lance Stroll, not happy. And excuse the language if you're Christian and you're listening to the stream. But, yeah, so Lance Stroll not happy with the traffic there from the Red Bull. I think that was Yuki Tsunoda who was holding him up there. But the reason why all these drivers are on soft tyres at the moment is because there is meant to be rain for FP2. So, which I'm not doing at this point. At this point, if I get back anywhere before 1:30 afterwards, which I think, I'm not even sure what it is for you, Elizabeth, but, yeah, so, that's my plan. That is my plan. But tomorrow, I'll do F1 Academy. I'll do F1 Academy next, when I get back from lunch. So when I get back from lunch, I will do F1 Academy, and then we'll proceed on with the programming. But FP2 might be cancelled, just because the tight time frame that I have, because I start work from 3, so it's tight. It's a tight time frame at the moment. So yeah, that is my plan. 9.5 minutes to go. Hope you're enjoying the day. Hope you're enjoying your night, evening, morning, whatever it is for you. If you are, hit like button, subscribe. On the way to 130 subscribers. I know, we're growing so quickly. I remember when we were on 1. I remember. Lance Stroll up to P3 this time around. Half a second off the pace. Those McLarens are extremely quick. Seems as if the Aston Martins are showing a bit of pace as well. Only half a second off the pace for the moment. 8.5 minutes to go, ladies and gentlemen. So a bit of time still to do a few qualifying simulations. We have seen a lot of race runs as well throughout this session. Only the one red flag for the moment with Andrea Kimi Antonelli in the gravel at turn 7. So in the gravel, turn 7 and turn 8. Yeah, I'm really hoping I can do F1 Academy, because it would just take a lot of pressure off me. Man, I hate when there's... I especially hate when Frecker is on the same weekend as Formula 1. That just sucks. Because it's completely different time zones. And for example, if F1 and F1 Academy, if F1 and Frecker are on the same time period, I have to choose one. And yeah, it's interesting. 6 wins this year for Oscar Piastri from the Australian. So it's the most in any F1 season that an Australian has won. And the curse for the Australian drivers seems to continue, because still can't win his own home Grand Prix, which is the Australian Grand Prix. So it's very tough. It just shows how tight this sport is, and just how difficult it is to try and win races. I mean, the McLaren cars are showing it like their own way. Like they're above the rest. They're faster than probably anyone out there at the moment. I've got 8 minutes until I need to leave, so yeah. 8 minutes, and there's 6 minutes left in this session. So I think I will have a minute to go out over the outro. Just shows how tight my schedule is, Elizabeth. Man, my Elizabeth, what the flip? Oh, words need to word now. It just shows how tight my schedule is this weekend, because I have, it's just like, wow. It's really tight. My schedule's really, I shouldn't have accepted that shift. I shouldn't have, but I need the money. Elizabeth. I'm broke as shiz. I've got no money. Actually, why are my hands sweating? Why are my hands sweating? What? There's nothing intense about any of this. Good lord. Oh, good, we've been there, lol. Yeah, I'm sure your dire situation right now is... Your situation right now is trying to catch as many streams as you possibly can and trying to fix yourself with time zones. Don't fix yourself too much. Like, sleep during the day so that when you get back to your home city, your home, whatever it is, wherever you live in the world, don't, like, when you get back there, you're just having to spend months and months of just sleeping during the day. That would suck. If you know what I mean. If you know what I mean, then, like, don't sleep. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'll shut up. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. I just need to shush. I just need to shush. Good lord. Good lord. Anyways. Yeah. A packed schedule. Packed schedule indeed. It's tight. And then next weekend's going to be the exact same thing because... Wait, am I working Thursday? Shiz, I'm working Thursday. I will adapt to time zones within 2 days. That's not a problem. God damn! It'd take me like a month. Boss, bro. Damn. I could not do that. I could not do that. I genuinely couldn't. You know what I just thought of? I'm working Thursday. I can't do the shirtless stream. I just remembered I'm working Thursday. That was very dangerous from Stroll. So Stroll, obviously in the way of Ollie Behrman. I just noticed I'm working Thursday. Hell no, I'm not pushing it back to Friday, so don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. Man, my Wednesday was meant to be my day off. Oh, I'm working Wednesday. No shirtless stream this weekend. This week. Suckers. I'm kidding. No shirtless stream this week. I have work. I just remembered. I'm working Wednesday, Thursday. And Tuesday I've got the European Le Mans Series. Monday I've got F1 Academy and oh, what else? You should go shirtless now at least. Bruh. Get out of here. Get out of here. Well, you're not going to be there anyway. I mean, I'll probably end up doing it next week anyway. Not this week, next week. I'll probably end up doing it next week anyway. Or I'll stupidly decide to go live at some point throughout the week, and I'll probably end up doing it then. I might do it Friday. I'll do it Friday. I'll do it Friday, but it'll be, oh, George Russell off the road, oh, in the gravel, warning.
Exactly. Yeah. The front end of just sitting off.
Russell saying sorry about that. So just locking up that left front tyre and straight in the gravel. He was lucky actually not to get stuck. He was able to drift his way out of the gravel. I would not be able to do that. I could not drive an F1 car, let alone drift one. Drive an F1 car? Tough. Drift an F1 car? Not possible. The one circuit I don't want to go to is Spa. Spa is creepy in an F1 car. I mean, you're sitting in the F1 car and you're pulling like 6 Gs up a ruse. Like, oh! It hurts my brain. It hurts my brain. 6 G4, 6 times the weight of you pushing on you. It's insane. Anyways, gang, I've got to go. I got like 30 seconds I've got to go. 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 Wait. It's fine. This is my shoes, bro. Fast. I'm so cooked. I'm guessing Lennon on top this session. Okay. It's fine. Busting my shoes, bro. This comp box is so dirty. Okay, Liz, I gotta go. I gotta go. Okay, 20 seconds left in the session. Wait, let's just check. Oh, wait. Who topped it? Okay, just check. I'm guessing Lennon Oz topped. Come on. Just tell me. I gotta go. Lennon Oz topped it. Okay. Lennon Oz topped it over Oscar Piastri, Lance Stroll, Alonso, Albon, Verstappen, Russell, Sainz, Bortoletto, Gasly, Lawson, Hadjar, Hulkenberg, Leclerc, Hamilton, Tsunoda, Ocon, Colapinto, Behrman, and Antonelli DNF'd halfway through the session. If you guys enjoy, hit like and subscribe. I'll be either back like 1:30 or afterwards or tomorrow. But I'll probably stream F1 Academy from 1:45. I'll catch you guys then. Goodbye.